Okay, Peter 1, Peter 2, Peter 2, Peter 3.
It beat you! I beat you! Do it!
This is the way.
This is the way. Vengeance. I am the knight. I am Batman.
And welcome back to the Nerding Out Podcast. As you can see, new setup is finally here. I got everything switched around. We actually have a background now, and are able to be able to talk to each other a bit easier. So, I mean, we are still reeling from the Batman first and foremost. I think, have you seen it 3 times at this point, or still 2?
I haven't. I'm waiting to go the 3rd time. Okay. I'm just dying for somebody to go with me.
I mean, I'll go, but I've been twice at this point, and I'm fully expecting on is it April 16th or 19th. When it comes to HBO Max, I'll be watching
40 days or something like that.
Yeah, I will be watching it at my home. So, no matter what, I will have seen it a 3rd time before, we hit your wedding.
It'll be more than 3, honest.
So, with that being said, I think you talk about the box office a little bit, see how we're doing. So, go ahead.
Yeah, last time I checked, I think it was almost about $500 million, which is really good for it being its second week out. This is going into the 2nd week. Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty big. So it's for sure gonna hit $1 billion, which is pretty good for Warner Brothers. They only have last time I checked, the $1 billion club is it would be the 50th movie to reach $1 billion.
Yeah,
so
right at it, yeah.
Being in that top 50, it's really good.
Where it belongs.
And then it'd probably compete for highest grossing Batman film.
Yeah.
They're I think the highest one might be $1.4 billion, but it might not get there, but it'll contend for.
It will.
The way it's going, it's making a lot of money, and I think word of mouth is doing great things because if I wasn't such a big Batman fan, I would have been I'm gonna boycott Warner Brothers and not watch this movie, but trailers just made it look like next level, and of course it was everything we wanted it to be. So I think word of mouth is really doing it justice, for people to be like, oh, okay, honey, come and go see this. And I watched a video today, and they were saying what all was going on with the box office, and they were like, this lady was trying to watch it again, and she was like, I want to go when there's less people, just, the world and stuff, and she was like, I can't book a premium theater because they're all still packed. Wow. So they're still wherever I'm sure California, Los Angeles, all that junk is the higher end cities are still absolutely getting
100%
packed out. So it's exciting. It deserves more than anything to be in the $1 billion club. And
yeah, I mean we spent an hour talking about it on the last podcast, and I think we could have sat there and talked
another hour.
Yeah, easily. So, again, we'll echo what we said earlier. If you haven't seen Batman yet, go see the Batman, please. It's totally worth watching, and, you've heard it said by many people, one of top 2, the best Batman, whatever you want to call it. It's an amazing film. Go watch it. Now, that's pretty much all the news we have today. There's not much going on. The Morbius trailer that we got was nothing new.
It's completely bummed.
Nothing really that new on Doctor Strange. They're making a big deal about it being Patrick Stewart. We already all knew it was Patrick Stewart. There was no way it's not Patrick Stewart.
Now the theories are just flying around.
Yeah,
who's in the Illuminati, which is the Time Lords kind of thing.
It's rumor mill, and that's all it is, and that's all it'll be until we get a new trailer at this point.
Pretty much. I don't think they're gonna spoil too much.
I don't either. It'll be what it is.
Well, you got to think with No Way Home, they weren't gonna drop the Spider-Man in the trailer.
Absolutely.
This, I don't think people will be as excited to see the old Mr. Fantastic. Fantastic Four.
Especially since it's not John Krasinski. That was whatever.
But they won't reveal that. But Superior Iron Man, nobody's gonna be jumping up out of their seats like they were with Spider-Man.
There's no big characters on the Illuminati that are gonna be major players in the MCU anymore. They might be one and done for this movie, to be honest.
The only one I can think of is the I'm pretty sure it's heavily rumored that what's her face from Captain Britain? It's Peggy Carter. I don't remember the actress's name. Haley Atwell. She's supposed to be one of the members, I think. That's one of the heavily rumored ones.
They're getting into doing non-comic accurate Illuminati, and I'm not a fan of it. But it is what it is. I mean, they gotta do what they gotta do. But yeah, I mean, outside of that, the next big news thing, and that's our big topic for the day, is Kenobi. Finally, we have a trailer for Kenobi.
It took long enough.
I mean, I was expecting it for the Super Bowl, didn't see it. I was expecting it the day after the Super Bowl, didn't see it. You know, over a month later, here we are, and we finally have it. And it was worth the wait.
It's probably the best trailer I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I will have to agree there.
I mean, it probably rides right there with the Batman, honestly.
It's so good because it's so world building, but at the same time, we don't really know that much about the story. But it leaves that like, oh, okay, yeah, I got to watch this.
Well, what we do know is that it's set 10 years after Revenge.
Post-Revenge, yeah.
So this is after he's supposedly killed Anakin. He doesn't know what happened to him. He doesn't know that he's Darth Vader. So we will get that moment.
That'll be so cool.
In Kenobi, which is just going to be awesome because Ewan McGregor, of course, one of the most loved performances of our generation.
Really is.
In terms of what actors can do with a character. And he is Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like, we all have our opinions on, you know, who's Superman, who's Batman, whatever.
Most of the opinions are wrong.
Of course. Our opinion is the only one that matters. But, they haven't done another Obi-Wan Kenobi because they don't have to.
No,
like, Star Wars, like, they nailed it the first time.
Yeah.
So it's exciting to watch.
Second time.
That's old man Kenobi.
Well, yeah, that's true.
They couldn't. Yeah. Ewan McGregor might not even been born.
First time Kenobi was Alec Guinness. But anyway,
he was fine. He did the.
It's a different character. It really is.
He did the job fine.
It's a very different character.
But to see Ewan McGregor and who knows who's we know from the trailer the Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah, that was big.
So if you're not versed on Rebels, maybe watch a season or two.
At least the first season, especially because it's looking like it's leaning heavily into Inquisitors. And
Inquisitors are, you know, turned Jedi, Sith, or they were just, you know,
Jedi hunters, pretty much.
Raised up to be these, not Sith, because, you know, the rule of the Sith is two at a time.
Yeah,
two at a time is the Sith. So these guys are Force users. They're not considered Sith, so they're there to wipe out the remaining Jedi.
Yeah,
which is awesome.
They're really cool.
Of course, we see that in Fallen Order.
Yeah,
and I've seen a lot of like concept art and images that this is like looks kind of a lot like Fallen Order.
There's a lot.
People are getting excited about that.
There's a lot of stuff from Fallen Order in this trailer. One of the planets they go to. A lot of people were thinking that the main Inquisitor girl, Reva, I think you said her name is, or something of that nature, is Trilla from Fallen Order. It's not. Fallen Order takes place 3 years before this, and she actually.
But can we see Cal Kestis?
That's the big thing that I'm hoping for is somehow we see Cal and maybe introduce Ezra in this too.
They're saving Ezra. Ezra, of course, is from Rebels again, so. A lot of Rebel stuff going on, like they are finally rewarding those of us who are dedicated fans,
exactly,
that have watched all this stuff. So it's exciting. A lot of Rebel stuff. So
try
to watch
at
Rebels
least a season, especially the first season.
Yeah, but I mean, even even after the end of Rebels will pick up with like Ahsoka's show.
Yeah.
So Rebels is big.
So watch the first season for Kenobi and then finish it for Ahsoka, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, you want to get acquainted with the Inquisitor because the Inquisitor looks like he's gonna be a really big character. So that's the Grand Inquisitor, and he's over all the other. You know, they showed I think 3 total. The Grand Inquisitor. Yes. Another is the 5th brother from Rebels. Mm-hmm. He was pretty cool. Yeah. He was shown, and then the other one.
Reva, I think that's her name. So. We'll do for this just a little bit of predictions, to be honest. For what we think is going to happen, and he's already said it. We're going to see that Hayden, Ewan, Anakin, Obi-Wan reunion, and oh my gosh, I can't wait. that's going to be the best moment of the show in my mind. I think it's been said that Hayden Christensen took over 10 years off of acting, and this is the first thing he's done in a long time.
I would too if that was my performance from.
This is true, but it's still a great movie.
Well, I'm just saying the second one. He was awful.
The second one terrible,
He was
but
awful.
no, that's the most. It's like childhood, like this.
It's exciting.
Star Wars or Batman, superheroes and stuff. That's like childhood moments. But Star Wars for me is probably my favorite property of anything. There's something just about Star Wars that I love and will always love, even no matter how terrible it gets with the new stuff. There's just always some element to Star Wars that you can find to enjoy, and
most of it's actually the characters.
I agree completely.
You know, the story can be what it is, but you know, the movies that are widely agreed on are bad. You know, Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and then probably 2 of the new movies, Last Jedi, and Rise. Which
Skywalker.
Whatever.
I'm picking.
But you know, you look at Phantom Menace. Of course, people loved Obi-Wan from the start. People loved Qui-Gon, Liam Neeson, and then Darth Maul.
Yeah.
Boom, you have 3 solid characters, and then you go on to Attack of the Clones. You know, Yoda, Mace Windu, Obi-Wan again.
Yeah, Django and Count Dooku.
Yeah, they always have. No matter what the story is, you're always gonna have characters that you like.
Yeah,
and you always attach yourself. Like for the new movies, I attached myself to Kylo. I really liked Kylo. He was
best thing to come out of him.
He 100%. Was really good. I was really excited to see his story.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, to see one of your he's my second favorite Star Wars character in Obi-Wan, and to see him come back, Ewan McGregor looks awesome. Yeah. Looks like he's gonna be one of his best performances thus far.
Yeah.
I'm excited because he looks in the trailers. He just looks defeated. He looks. You know, like he's about to give up. You know.
Oh, we lost. Like that's the tagline of it all. We lost, but at the same time, he's the one guardian of that spark of hope in Luke. I loved how they showed that. Him looking at Luke immediately. The Force theme plays as he just glances over at Luke.
Chills every time the Force theme plays.
It was amazing.
Force theme, and then I lost my crap when the Duel of Fates come on.
Oh, it was amazing.
I mean,
that was the best moment of the whole trailer. And I was like,
well, they start off with the high voices.
It was amazing.
Chill bumps immediately, and I was like, okay, they're actually doing this.
Yeah, that led me to believe that more than likely we'll be seeing Darth Maul in some way in this.
Yeah, it's just 4 episodes, though.
It's 4 episodes. I know.
I'm not buying it.
I'm asking for a lot in that, but for them to put Duel of Fates in there, I know that's kind of Obi-Wan's song in a way. But man, if we see Darth Maul, Darth Vader, and Inquisitors, like it's all.
I'm not expecting Maul just because of the fact that they're bringing Vader into this.
Yeah,
I can't see that. That's just. I mean, if they want to do a season 2, but then again, you're getting into there's a lot of canon there. That's like, you know, he meets up with Maul on Tatooine at the end. How would he meet up in Rebels? They find each other on Tatooine again. Yeah. So how would they incorporate Maul in these 10 years after? Because that was probably this would be 10 years. Luke's 10. He's probably 20 by the time of New Hope.
Roughly.
18, 20, something like that. So there's a gap there that they can do stuff, but like you're still riding on, you know.
Yeah, honestly, one thing that's always been a dream of mine is I love Obi-Wan and Darth Maul's rivalry, but what if somehow they incorporate it to where they have to fight together to hold off Vader? Because we know at this point, like, Vader will be at his peak power.
Yeah, they've Hayden Christensen.
Like, he's going to be insane.
The most powerful will see Darth Vader. So
I don't know. I'm still in that group that I think Obi-Wan can kick his can. Because, you know, I'm in that group because Obi-Wan is by far the most powerful Jedi.
I agree with you there, but at this point, we have a Vader who is channeling his anger, not being lost in it.
But I still think, you know, you're still asking for a lot with Darth Maul, and like
I am 100%.
I'm here for it, but the fact that they're bringing in Inquisitors, but Obi-Wan's going off world, which was cool to see in the trailer. We do see him at the
it's
some
planet
big
from,
city.
Yeah, it's the city from Fallen Order. I can't remember the name of it off
So-
the top of my head.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what causes him
To leave Luke.
to leave Luke?
And I love how they're incorporating Uncle Owen into it too. Just it's a character we don't know that much about, but at the same time, like that's
Yeah, the guy that they messaged the guy that was playing him, and he was like, "Are you kidding me? Really?
absolutely
Yep."
might as well. Let's see anything else big in the trailer.
But why do you think he goes off world?
Why do I think he goes off world?
It's a big.
It's gonna have something to do with Reva the Inquisitor. It almost has to. I'm hoping that something involves Cal.
Well, I think what you're gonna get is just spitballing.
Yeah.
It has to be some sort of. We have this Jedi. And they're trying to draw Obi-Wan out because they know they're looking for
Right.
Obi-Wan because they know from Vader that he killed Anakin. So they're going to be looking for him and they're going to try to draw him out, as they said in the,
Yeah.
I can't remember the line the Inquisitor said, but it was awesome. But, yeah, it's got to be something like that to where we're going to kill X amount of Jedis, come and try to save him or something.
Yeah. Dude, I agree with that.
I just don't know what they're gonna do.
And that's what I love about how well this trailer was presented. We have no idea, and so all we can do is just sit here and think and just.
Yeah, it really just shows you the characters that are going to be involved and kind of the feel of it and the world,
Exactly. And as a Star Wars fan, can we please quit complaining about how these live action characters look? Start off with Cad Bane, now it's going into the Grand Inquisitor. I am so sick and tired of the Star Wars fan base worried about how these characters look. It's a cartoon. They're not going to look exactly the same. Yes, I know we saw the Utapau guys earlier on in Revenge.
This one does kind of irk me.
It's odd, but at the same time,
Cad Bane's, I was just like,
it's
dang.
Cad Bane's on screen.
I was like,
That's all I
was
cared
like,
about.
dang, he looks bad in a good way.
Yeah.
He still looks, menacing. Like, and they didn't nail the design, but it's probably intentional. So I feel like this would probably be intentional too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, personally, they have however much money Star Wars has now. I think they could figure it out. So yeah, it looks like a basketball, and it's supposed to look like a football. So I'm with the camp, honestly, but like I'm just here for. It doesn't bother me that
That's
much,
my thing.
but I
know
wish
who the character is.
But I wish they would
is
go
what it
more
is.
accurate.
Yeah, I get it.
Every time I look at it, I'm like, it could be better.
It could be.
And they nailed Ahsoka's design.
They did big time.
I'm sure if Maul come in, they would nail him. They would absolutely. But and then of course look at what they did with Luke.
It's very true.
If you can do that with Luke, I think you can make these characters look a little bit more.
Thank you to that random guy on the internet who fixed him.
Honestly, I think I got where people were coming from with Cad Bane, but with Cad Bane, he's been on Tatooine. He could have lost a little bit of his color. He's older.
It's very true.
His head, I understand it, but that is a weird shape to try to get. Cad Bane's head is weird.
It looks like Squidward. I mean,
honestly, this one is, I can understand the Inquisitor because it's kind of off-putting, but I'm still like,
who the character is.
He's in here, and I'm here for it.
And a character that I never thought we'd see again, to be honest.
Oh Lord, no.
So,
and he's really menacing in Rebels. Like he's that dude.
Yes. So, we can sit here and theorize about this forever, to be honest, until we get another trailer. I hope we don't get another trailer.
No, I think it'd be fine if we don't.
Because
they're just gonna show Vader, and
I don't want them to show Vader. I don't want to know. I don't want to see him.
No, I think well, it might be why they held out on a trailer for so long.
I agree.
Just for the purpose of going in.
Because what we got,
blind.
A little over 2 months left at this point, and the big question for me is the Vader and Obi-Wan reunion going to be more emotional than the Ahsoka Vader reunion in Rebels? I think it's going to carry so much weight to it.
It honestly just depends on what they decide to do, because there is that, once again, the canon of New Hope. It's like, what can you do? Is it a dream? Are they actually meeting up? Because, when he leaves, he said, when I left, I was but the student. You were the master.
Yeah.
In A New Hope. I just don't know if they can do an actual fight.
Well, no matter how the fight goes, Obi-Wan has to either win it or escape it, or someone will have to sacrifice themselves for him to get away.
Right.
Which is where I think that Reva girl will come in a way. I think there's
they're setting her up for something for sure.
She'll defect.
They would have, if they weren't gonna use her for a specific reason, they would have brought in the other sister from Rebels.
Right.
The one that Ahsoka absolutely wrecks.
Demolishes, yeah.
Her and the fifth brother. Yeah,
right.
She's that bad. She took on two of them. Absolutely wiped them.
Did.
But yeah, if they weren't going to use that girl, I think they would have brought her in. So this will probably be a redemptive arc. Obi-Wan will have known her or something when she was a Jedi or something. And even the cool part about the Inquisitors is, they could have worked, or they could have been on Coruscant at the Jedi Temple. It's actually legit that the Grand Inquisitor was a temple guard turned Inquisitor. So I mean, these characters can be anybody. Like Obi-Wan could have trained with her when they were younglings or something. Yeah. Like it's cool that you could think about that, and I think that's why they would have brought somebody like her into it.
I agree.
So I'm expecting that to be a pretty good storyline.
Yeah, big time. I think from there, you kind of have to start looking, okay, Ahsoka's next. And, does this series have any impact on what Ahsoka will be? I don't think so, because they're so far apart. You're looking, this is pre-New Hope by 10 years. Ahsoka will be post Return of the Jedi, roughly, 5 years, I'd say? Are you looking that up?
I don't know how old Luke was
at
the start.
I think he's 18 or 20. He's young. And then by the end of Empire, I think he's 23, 24. I'm not sure on that one. 19.
No.
Yeah. Luke is 19 at the start, and he's 23 at the end of Return.
So that would put him.
This is not. So New Hope is 9 years after this, because they said he's about 10 at the time of this show.
So I don't think it has that much of an impact.
No, because Ahsoka. We don't really know what she was doing after Clone Wars until Rebels.
I guess building up that fulcrum.
So we could very well get an Ahsoka teaser in Obi-Wan.
Yeah, this is very true.
And I think it would be. But then again, you're getting to the thing where, her and Ewan McGregor have never interacted.
Yeah.
Ahsoka was just in the TV series. So I don't know if it'd be that impactful. I mean, I'm here for it. I would love to see it.
For those of us who grew up watching the Clone
Wars, I would love to see it, but I think we could get, a hint at, Fulcrum, which is her code name in Rebels.
Yeah.
So but no, it won't impact, because, this show will impact the original trilogy, whereas this will be after the original trilogy, Ahsoka's series, and that'll focus on the end events of Rebels.
Yeah. This should be a near, in my mind, perfect setup to roll right into New Hope.
A good setup for this, like if they wanted to, because Ahsoka should be. I think it's at the end of this year. I think it's this. I'm pretty sure it's this year. Ahsoka.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then Mando is after Ahsoka. So if they wanted to, set up the next show, they could kind of start with the origin of Thrawn. Kind of tease him a little bit, and that could be your teaser for Ahsoka.
Yeah, like at the end of the series, the Grand Inquisitor goes before Thrawn.
Something like that, young Thrawn.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Which, if nobody knows who Thrawn is, watch Rebels. Need to watch Rebels because
one of the best Star Wars villains.
he is amazing. Like his mind puts Tarkin to shame. Like it's insane how intelligent he is when it comes to strategies and just overall manipulation and stuff. So I think he's definitely gonna be big for Ahsoka's movie.
Sure.
He'll be he'll be the big bad.
Oh yeah, well I teased that in
and
Mando
more than
too.
likely extending that into Mando 3.
Yeah, they're setting it up for like a big.
It's Avengers.
They're setting it up for a big, crossover between Boba
Everybody.
and Mando, Ahsoka,
'Cause
and that'll bring in the rebels that are left.
Yeah, because at that point you'll have, Ahsoka probably wouldn't lean into Luke too much on that one. I couldn't imagine them doing that because they'll probably lean into the idea of him starting the new Jedi Temple at this point. I don't know how far they'll go with that one. So we'll say Luke's on the sideline right now because you're getting to where you won't need anybody else if you have Ahsoka and Luke.
Well, you always need more people, Look at the whole Jedi Order; they needed clones.
Well, yeah, but this is just to take on Thrawn and.
Oh no, they can always add in people. You look at we talked about it before, Barriss and
Barriss would be cool. Barriss
would be very cool. The Inquisitors could still be around.
A few of
them. They can always bring in more people for them to fight if they wanted to do Luke and Ahsoka.
So,
which they teased that when she was like, "Well, I see you again," and she was like, "Maybe." Yeah. So
I mean, you'd have Luke, Ahsoka,
Sabine.
At that point, Sabine,
and
Mando,
Ezra. Probably Ezra.
Possibly Ezra, and possibly Cal, depending on how these next few shows go.
So
you're looking at 4 Jedi, 5 if we include slightly trained Grogu.
Mando, Darksaber. Who are they gonna take on?
Exactly.
I mean, they gotta start building up some villains for all these heroes.
Yeah, big time.
But Thrawn is a big one.
He's very big, and if anybody could return the Empire to its former power in this time before, Kylo comes into play, it'd be Thrawn. But
I mean, I kind of like the fact that it's open.
It's open to a point.
I mean, yeah, I'm here, and I wish they didn't do the sequels, and this would all just be like.
I'm wondering. Disney has to understand and has to be noticing that these little shows and stuff are performing far better,
killing
than the Disney trilogy. So, if I'm Disney execs, I'm honestly considering saying, okay, our trilogy is in a different universe. It's set in a different time. It's not canon to Star Wars anymore.
Oh, I mean that's easy for them to say it's not canon. And it's easy. You don't have to mention another because Star Wars isn't about multiverse or whatever.
I agree.
So I think it's just as simple as it's not canon. We'll open this up for you guys.
Exactly. So that's my thing.
They're not gonna do it, but I wish they would.
I don't know if Kenobi pops off and Ahsoka pops off, and they start to realize, okay, in this time frame, there's not that much of a story we can do because this has been my problem with the whole thing. What happens to Grogu? What happens to Mando? What happens to Ahsoka? What happens to all of them in between the end of whatever they're making, the Star Wars Avengers, and Force Awakens?
Yeah, that's been everybody's issue is like, how does this First Order get built up?
Exactly.
For these new movies. What happened to all these loved characters? What happened to Mando?
Yeah, you're pushing so far because in reality, after Luke defeats Vader, Han and Leia are pretty much immediately married at the end of Empire or Return, canonically.
You got about 16 years to work with.
16 years until Kylo comes into his power and falls to Snoke,
aka Palpatine. 16 to 20 years.
And you're starting to push that envelope a little bit to make it realistic.
Yeah, because this is we're getting into. I mean, the first season of Mando was, I don't know how long it was after Return.
I think it said 3 years after Return.
So if that was 3 years, we'd probably be in the 5th year.
Right at it.
Right now.
So you've got basically 10 years to
cover.
Build up the First Order.
Yeah.
To me, that just doesn't seem viable.
They're running into they're like, oh man, we're killing it with this content and stuff. But the more you kill it, the more you're gonna realize we're running out of time.
And so that's my honest thing. What if just without thinking, they just make the sequel trilogy non-canon? Because if you
I mean,
get
that would
close,
tick a lot of people off,
If
but
you
I
get
think
that
it would
close-
save many more people.
oh, it would 100%. Because then you could open it up so much.
You can
Because
make-
you have written yourself into a corner with the sequel trilogy.
You really have.
Because
But
once you hit the sequel trilogy and the end of the sequel trilogy, you have one answer to every problem in the universe, and that's Rey. There's nothing that can beat her because they've made her just that powerful. And so there's no story beyond that point.
well, once she dies, there's.
That's true, but I mean, you've gotten out of those loved characters at that point. That's what I'm saying is you.
And that's the thing of what they're building up right here. They're building to Grogu.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody loves Grogu. Everybody's into whatever they're doing with him.
Yes.
And he's gonna outlive everybody. He'll live 700 years after the rise of Skywalker.
Exactly.
But it's just him. You won't have Mando with him. You won't have Ahsoka around. You won't have Sabine and Ezra, Cal.
That's the dark thing with that. Because everybody jokes around and says, oh, Darth Grogu, Darth Grogu. That is a real possibility.
It could be legit.
Because he has walked away from the Jedi training from Luke, and he has this insane attachment to Mando.
Unreal.
So, how difficult is it going to be for some Sith Lord who knows Palpatine's secrets? Because we're not kidding ourselves. There are more Sith than Palpatine out there.
For sure. Palpatine wouldn't leave on basis of Rey.
No. And you look at Morband. The spirits of old Sith are still there. So all it takes is some acolyte like Kylo or an Inquisitor to go to Morband and study and train under the Sith spirits like Darth Bane. There's Darth Plagueis there. I mean, they're all there. And then, oh, hey, this little freak of a jelly bean has this insane, like, let me tell him this. And Grogu just snaps.
I mean, it's insanely, it's really possible, but I don't know what they're going for.
I don't either. Because, like we said, we're running out of time to make it realistic. It's Star Wars. I know realism is X, Y, and Z, but there still has to be some
they
element.
go by the canon. Like, if they didn't, they'd be like, oh, this Kenobi, it's taking place a year after.
Exactly.
Just to save themselves some time. Or, Mando, this is all happening while...
Within 6 months.
No, this is all happening during A New Hope. Like,
Yeah.
to save themselves. But no, they're following by, like, Empire was defeated. This is what's going on after. We're throwing in Moff Gideon. We're going to tease Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Exactly. Yeah.
You got great things going, but they can only go for so long.
And they lead into not so great things.
Everybody, it's widely agreed that these sequels weren't what they should have been.
Mm-mm.
And I would honestly prefer if they never made them, because this whole thing with Grogu and Mando would be wide open.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Wide open.
I mean, could you imagine instead of seeing Force Awakens, we got basically Mando season 1 as a trilogy?
Yeah. Season 1, 2, and 3.
Here's my money. Like, I already gave them my money for the sequel trilogy, but like I would have seen that over and over again because it's so different, it's so fresh. That's why it works. And we've gotten far away from Kenobi here, but at the same time, I mean, it all ties in one way or the other.
No, I mean that's the good thing about Star Wars.
Exactly.
It all ties back to Skywalkers and the old Jedi, the new Jedi.
Yeah.
And there's always opposition to that Jedi. So that's the cool part about Grogu.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what happens, he's gonna have an adversary somewhere.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna rise up. Grand Admiral Thrawn is gonna have a lackey or something.
He's got to have something to make it, because for me, if we know they're going to introduce Ezra and Ahsoka, they almost have to because they're bringing in Sabine and
that's where they go to look. They go to look for him.
Yeah,
because he's in
the Force pretty much.
Yeah.
So, and with that being said, Ezra could come out and be insanely powerful. He has a character arc that has not been finished yet.
Oh, and he delved with Darth Maul on the dark side.
He is bad. I think when we see him, I know there's been fan casts for him, Mini Masad. would be awesome. I think that's how you say his name, the guy from Aladdin. I think he would be cool.
Oh yeah, I've seen
I
that.
think he would be really cool.
He'd be really good. But yeah, the thing about Ezra was he was really attached to his family, and he was really attached to his new family and the rebels.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, one thing goes wrong, Sabine dies, Ahsoka dies. There could be your opposition for Grogu.
Yeah, it really could.
Because he's still really young. Like, he might not have aged.
You never know.
You never know. So,
Star Wars is an open playing ground.
but just for like 10 more years.
Yeah, right. So that's my big thing. If they're not going to retcon it, then I hope they keep this going and just kind of write themselves into a corner and just kind of like, oh, well, we're either forced to stop here
or we're going to have to
and
kill
lose
it and
money.
pick up Grogu.
Yeah, we're going to stop here with these characters that everybody loves and that everybody cares about and kill it. And
pick up Grogu. 30 years later.
And start with him being the bad guy somehow or whatever. Or admit they made a mistake with the sequel trilogy and be like, hey, look, we understand this is far superior. This is just not canon anymore. Here we go. That would be preferable to me.
Yep.
Either way, they're going to make money off of it no matter what they do.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're looking at tons and tons of money if they actually do go with, you know, Grogu the movie.
Exactly.
They're looking at $1 billion project right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody loves Mando and Grogu.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants to see what they. So I honestly think it would be cool if they actually get to the point where they, you know, build Grogu and Mando up and then cut Mando the seasons off, and then we just at the end of the however long they go, Mando the show cuts off. Mando and Grogu will return and start their new movies.
Yeah.
That would be sick.
The Bounty Hunter Chronicles or something like that. Yeah.
Something.
It would be dope.
Cool.
And again, you look at the end of Boba, they're still building Boba's storyline out because you have, you know, Cobb Vanth being revived. And so it's all these characters that are just coming back into the fold. I don't know what they're doing. I'm sure they do some way, somehow. I'm here for it completely. And
as long as Filoni and Favreau are involved,
and
I'll
that's
be
my
here.
thing. That's what I wanted to end this off with. If there was one project that you could pick and say, Filoni, Favreau, take this and run with it, what would you do? Anything from Star Wars at all?
Anything from Star Wars.
I have mine, and if anybody could do it, it'd be Dave Filoni.
I mean, I just think, you know, nail the obvious for me. Just nail the Ahsoka show.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything. You know, they're bringing back Kenobi.
Mm-hmm.
Nail the Ahsoka show, and I'll be fine. But I would want them to work on it. I hope they're.
Oh,
well, Filoni's obviously because he created Ahsoka.
Shoot, even if Bryce Dallas Howard's on it, I mean, gosh,
she did awesome.
She's killing it with Boba.
But yeah, just nail the Ahsoka show for me and bring back these characters from Rebels and do them some justice.
Yeah, I think for me, the biggest thing that I saw one picture a long time ago whenever all this was starting, and it just sat with me, and it's Starkiller. Do a show with him. Sam Witwer would do it immediately. I guarantee it. And you can easily make it to where by the end of it, it's a sad tragedy story because, I mean, everybody knows he is probably the most or second most powerful character in all of Star Wars. Behind Vader.
I don't know, he beats Vader. Literally beats Vader.
It's true. It's true. But I think, you know, deeper story Vader is probably the older Vader gets, is the stronger he grows. I don't know. It could be the same for Starkiller because we don't know the end of his story.
Never will.
So sad. But, I mean, if anybody could do it, it would be Favreau and Filoni. I just think you set that and you pick that up right after Kenobi and just...
then you're getting into the canon stuff again.
You do. And
it's just weird.
At that same time, you have that little gap. It's because that's where he fits in the games too, is in that gap between Luke, right before Luke, and he's like that little bit that stalls the Empire that much more. And I just think that would be kind of cool, mainly because he's one of my favorite Star Wars characters that's been criminally underused and underappreciated. But that would just be for me. Well, we talked about that a lot longer than I thought we would, to be honest. I had a separate segment, but we will do that another time, because this one's already kind of getting a little long. With that being said, thank you guys so much for the responses on these videos. You know, it's been awesome. We're inching closer to 200 listeners, which is amazing. Thank you guys so much. I never thought just starting a little podcast in my office would, get that high anywhere near it. And I just thank you guys so much for that. And it's growing as quickly as it has, mainly because of all this amazing pop culture that we have to review. And whether you agree with our opinions or not, that's the fun part about this, is there's discussion, there's agreements, there's disagreements. He thinks Ahsoka's the best Star Wars character. I think he's wrong anyway.
I think literally like a couple weeks ago, you were like, I'm sorry, I was wrong.
I didn't say she was the best Star Wars character. I said she had the best character arc in all of Star Wars. Yeah. She's not the best, but her character arc is the most complete. Vader, possibly. Anyway.
Maybe if they nailed, maybe if Hayden Christensen nailed his role, I'd agree with you. But too bad, so sad.
I know. But
Ahsoka takes the cake.
That's fine. But I appreciate you guys. I know he does too. We've had a lot of fun doing these, and can't wait to continue doing them. Because if there's anything me and him like to do, and there's anything that anybody around us knows we like to do, it's just talk about stuff we love, and this is the perfect outlet for it.
Heck yeah.
So thank you guys so much for listening. Next episode will be a good one. I've already got one segment planned, and we're still thinking of a name for it. But it's going to be a trivia game, and we're going to test this man's knowledge right here on different things.
I got a lot of knowledge.
It'll be exciting. I'm excited for it. So with that being said, this is Micah.
It's Caleb.
Y'all have a wonderful day.